Just a quick reminder that this channel is purely for entertainment and everything I'm doing is completely wrong, so don't. Well, we're heading out now in a bit of a dog leg out from Holyhead. It's late in the evening, but it's necessary to do this because of the way the wind's going to work. It's quite slow going. You have to clear some rocks and get a little bit out to sea, so we're heading in a bit of a dog leg out to sea, avoiding the worst of the currents. And we're going to be sailing in the night, and we're going to be using the chart plotter. We've got some waypoint information in there, and you can see those red marks. We're just following those around in a kind of a dog leg, trying to make the best of the wind, really. And but it's quite lovely out here at the moment, and yeah. I don't know what sort of picture we're going to get here. It's pretty rough to see, and so to make this video log I'm going to have to chance it a little bit. I can't really leave the tiller. I haven't been able to leave the tiller yesterday evening. All evening I sailed at the night time around the head of Anglesey, and I got to the point where I just had to sleep. And so I was in this current. The current was so strong it didn't matter which way you pointed the boat, it still went in the same direction. It was most peculiar feeling, and depending on which way you turned the boat, the speed, the number of knots you went at went up or down. And so if you pointed the boat in the same direction as the current, you were going the fastest. 6 knots we were doing, and I thought, how am I going to stop this? And I could see that I was going too fast, too far. I was going to end up arriving at my destination in the middle of the night if I carried on at that speed. So I thought, well, all I can do is heave to. And so I tried that, hove to, and I checked on the GPS, and it showed that my track was heading out to sea. And I thought, well, that's fine. I can't be going that fast, so it looks like I'm fairly stationary. So I went to sleep, and in the night it just got worse and worse and worse and rougher, and I was on the angle on the lean, and there's a danger when you're on the lean of being thrown off the bed if you hit a big wave onto the floor. But I didn't want to. I could have taken the mattress and just put it on the floor and got on the floor with my pillow and my sleeping bag, and I would have been fine. But it's kind of like giving up that, you know. It's the worst possible situation in the boat when you're having to lie on the floor. You're admitting that conditions are not getting good, and so it's psychological really to try to avoid sleeping on the floor, even though once you get on the floor it's very comfortable, because you're kind of jammed in there, you can't roll either way, and you can sleep peacefully on the floor. Why I didn't do it, I don't know. But anyway, I thrashed it out all night. I got up a couple of times and I checked what we were doing, and there was nothing around, and everything was okay. We had the nav lights on and everything. And so when I got up this morning, I had to drag myself out because fighting the rolling of the bed, it really takes it out of you, and so you don't really feel rested, you just feel buggered the next day. And so I had to drag myself out of bed and come up here, find out what's going on in this roly-poly sea. And hove to in this roly-poly sea is really the worst possible kind of position of sail. It makes the sea feel rougher. And so the first thing I did was I had a look at I turned the boat around so the boat was heading with the wind, and this calmed things down quite a lot. We're heading with the wind now, and it's a lot calmer. But in this position of sail, it's very roly-poly, and you can't leave the helm. It goes this way, it goes that way. You really have to steer it all the time. I've got the steering tied at the moment, which gives me a chance. I was able to, after an hour or so on the tiller, I finally decided to take a chance and make a cup of coffee. So I've just had a cup of coffee, which has kind of woken me up and made me able to do this video, really. And so when I checked the chart plotter in the night, after the night, I'm miles out to sea, you know, probably I would say 15 nautical miles directly out to sea from my position where I left it. And so I've had to sail these 15 nautical miles, and I'm probably done about half of them now. I've recovered half of these miles, and we're at the moment we're currently 23 nautical miles from Puffin Island. Now Puffin Island I remember as a child because you could always see this Puffin Island. It looked like a slipper out in the bay, Penrhyn, Conway Bay, off Penrhyn. We used to see, on a clear day, you could see Puffin Island, so you knew how clear it was. And I just happened to have the waypoint that I put in right on the channel between the Anglesey and Puffin Island. There's a gap there that you can sail through. So I know my waypoint is pointing at Puffin Island, and I can see Anglesey here, but if I look right at where I'm pointing, when I'm really just pointing exactly at where the waypoint is, I can actually see Puffin Island. It's just a tiny little, and I wouldn't have realised that was Puffin Island, even noticed it was a bit of land, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm pointing right at it. So I can see that what happens is Anglesey goes round the bend here and curves around that way, and then Puffin Island is sticking out there. So I can actually see Puffin Island, which is quite reassuring actually, and it's very good to learn these things because you won't need this chart plot eventually. You'll just sort of see, there's Anglesey, there's Puffin Island, that's the way to go. Now what I don't want to do tonight is, I don't want to get there today, that's the thing. I need to stop over another night, and I don't want to spend the night like last night out in the open sea, because there is no open sea. I'll have to sail towards Conway to do that, end up at Conway. And so I want to try for the first time anchoring somewhere in the shallow waters of one of the bays on Anglesey. And I had a look on the chart, and there's 2 or 3 places, little bays marked with anchor signs, which means that they're suitable anchorages for boats to take refuge there. And so this is my plan of attack today. I haven't got my waypoint in yet, but I'm sailing in the general direction I'm going to, and there's a couple of small outcrops of rock or little tiny islands that are sticking off the side of Anglesey, and then round the corner there's a nice little bay, and I'm hoping to be able to find my way in there and put the anchor down and find out what that's like, because you know there's always the dangers of, you don't want to anchor with a wind blowing, very strong wind of 30 knots blowing you up towards the shore, it's okay to have the wind blowing the other way from the land, and then you're getting shelter from the headland. And so, but to have it the other way, or for the wind to change in the middle of the night, this is the risks involved in anchoring close to land. So it's important to bear this in mind. But the forecast is for mild winds. It's strong now, not strong, but you know, moderate to strong wind, probably about 12 to 14 knots, 12 knots I'd say. And it's forecast to die down. So this is why I'm going now, because I don't want it to be becalmed and not be able to make it around the head of Anglesey. I hope this isn't too long for you guys. I'm trying to explain what I'm up to and some of the thinking process behind it. And you're on your own out here and responsible for yourself and your little boat and anything that you come into contact with, and so you have to be quite careful. Somehow I have managed to cross from Canvey Island in the Thames Estuary to Anglesey without mishap, not without dangers, not without close shaves, not without all sorts of tests and trials, but with no serious injuries, a few scratches here and there, a sore foot for a while, which is getting better, and tired bones and tired muscles from having to recover from 2 years of COVID lockdown, put on me and the rest of the world by stupid politicians who would rather live than face their maker when their time comes. To live in fear, what a terrible, terrible life that must be. I'll leave you on that. Okay, it's a bit strong, this video.